Roz was Violet. A million questions ran through my head, but then Violet ordered her followers to attack us. We turned and all hell was breaking loose. I grabbed my pistols from the other members after I snapped their necks, and we started shooting. Sadly, the shootout lasted very short because the members soon started to scatter through the woods. Well, that escalated quickly, Xander said. We then headed towards Heather, Riley, and the other captives. Heather hugged Xander and Eric with tears streaming down her faces. "Look, I hate to break this emotion reunion here, but we have to go now," I yelled out. We then freed the rest of the hostages. I then told Xander to hand me Iris. Iris retraced the steps to the car. I yelled at her. "I'm on it. I've got it tracked," she said. Xander and Eric led ahead and got them all out of there. But as soon as I thought that things couldn't get any worse, Eric got stabbed through the leg with my throwing knife. He screamed in agony. We all were shocked. I turned to see Violet with her face red with anger. "You ruined everything! Now you're gonna die," she shouted as she came running towards us. I then hit her with a front kick, and that wasn't going to keep her down long enough, so I yanked at my knife out of Eric's leg. "Go now! Run! I'll handle her. Help Xander carry your brother and head for the car with the others," I told Heather. "What? No, we're not going to leave you," she said. "Heather, there's no time to argue. Now go!" "Who are you?" she asked. I rolled up my sleeve and showed her my wristband that she made me all those years ago. She was confused at first, but her face expression showed it all. "Oh my God, are you?" she asked. I simply nodded my head. "We'll meet again. Now go," I told her. She then helped Xander carry Eric, and I was left there to face Violet again. Violet and I stood our ground with flames surrounding us. Not gonna lie, it made it look like we were battling in hell, but as soon as I made my stance of standing my ground, I then had the flashback on how I did the same move with Mutant Mickey back on the island. Except no music from Chris Daughtry this time filled my head. She held onto my K-bar with rage in her eyes. I inhaled and exhaled. We ran towards each other and we fought. But she wasn't as tough as Mutant Mickey, thankfully, but she did put up one hell of a fight. She almost tried to stab me, but failed. I uppercut her in the jaw, and she fell once more, spitting blood from her mouth. "I'm impressed, Ghost. You are definitely one hell of a fighter. Now I see what your reputation means after your fight on that island. But I know that you're really Fives." My heart felt as if it had stopped. "What? How? When? What?" I tried to spit out a question. "Oh yes, you think I don't know about that? I'm not the only one who knows, you know. There are more of us out there, and we won't stop until your head is off your body." I then went to grab her robe. "Who? Who are the others? Who else knows?" I shouted. But as I knew that she wasn't going to spill out names, she did what I wasn't even expecting next. She snapped her own neck, and she laid there dead. I was speechless, not knowing what now, and yet there were more questions than answers about who knew what about the island. But as this came to my mind, the flames of the fire were burning down the logs, the branches with the symbols, everything was coming down. I quickly ran out of there, and I tried to go as fast as I could, but was still bruised with what Mania did to me. Luckily, I found everyone else still by the car, surprised that they didn't yet leave. Heather was with Eric, who had patched his leg. He was feeling a bit better, and came to hug me. Heather had tears streaming down her face, stating that she didn't want to leave without me. And I agreed. Honestly, Xander was about to go back and get you, Eric said. I was surprised, and I turned to see Xander coming towards me. "Man, you are one hell of a fighter," he said. As that was done, we then tried to fit in the car, which fit everyone, thankfully, especially on the bed of the truck. I told Xander to drop me off at the hideout. We made it there. Xander, Eric, and Heather and I stepped out, and I thanked them. Well, this is, I guess, the end of the road for us. We each here made an impact, and that's saying something. Yeah, I guess we couldn't have gotten our sister back without you. Thank you, man, Eric said solemnly. Yeah, you've earned my respect now, Ghost, Xander said, extending his hand. We both shook. Eric gave me a brotherly handshake as well. Don't be a stranger anymore, alright? Eric said. I won't. Heather came up to me and gave me the biggest hug you could even imagine. I'll see you soon, right? She asked. You bet, I said as we then said our final goodbyes. They got into the car and drove off. I packed up my gear and came back home. And I guess that's about it. Everything came out to be what I expected to happen. And, I mean, suffice to say, I gotta find out who the others are now. I'm sure you weren't purposefully gonna forget me, right? A voice emanated. Oh yeah, apparently Heather had slipped Iris into my pocket without me noticing. Jesus, now I'm worried that if I'm getting slow now or that gullible. Yeah, I guess that's the story. It's definitely a ride. Also, I'm upgrading my armor, having a bit of adjustments, some new equipment for the time being. But this is the end, folks. It definitely was one hell of a ride. Hold on a second. Hello? Eagle Eye? What's up? Wait, slow down. What's going on? You created a what? Are you serious? No, tell me you're kidding. Who else knows about this? Okay, I'll come stop by.